We asked 100 lawn care business owners one question: which zero-turn would you buy again? Not which one looks best on a trailer, not which one the dealer pushed hardest, the one they'd hand their own money to a second time. And the answer breaks the assumption most homeowners walk in with. Consumer Reports surveyed 18,560 gas riding mowers purchased between 2015 and 2025. Real owners, multiple years, no guesswork. That data exists. Most buyers never see it before they sign. So before we name names, understand the scale behind this list. This is not one guy's opinion on a forum. This is thousands of ownership experiences stacked against what working landscapers actually run every day. The brand sitting at the top of that data is not the one you'd guess walking through the mower aisle. On paper, there is one clear winner, and it is not the brand with the biggest Super Bowl budget. Kubota is the only brand to score at the top of both categories. Consumer Reports tracks predicted reliability and owner satisfaction, not one or the other, both. That distinction matters more than it sounds, because plenty of brands can win on comfort or win on durability. Almost none win on both at the same time, and Kubota does. This is not a marketing claim. It comes from Consumer Reports Fall 2023, 2024, and 2025 member surveys, covering 18,560 gas riding mowers purchased new between 2015 and 2025. That is a decade of real ownership data pulled from people who bought the machine with their own money and lived with it for years, not a press release timed to a product launch. And this is not a fluke buried inside a small sample. Zoom out, and Consumer Reports' full riding mower dataset spans 62,266 machines owned by 52,978 members, 62,000 mowers, 53,000 separate owners. That is the kind of sample size that makes a ranking hard to argue with. Now zoom back in. Isolate just the zero-turn category specifically, and the sample still holds at 5,575 machines purchased across that same 2015 to 2025 window. Kubota's top ranking does not evaporate once you narrow the data down to the exact machine type this video is about. It holds. So on paper, if you are going strictly by the numbers, Kubota is the answer. It is the brand landscapers are statistically most likely to buy again, according to the largest data set available on the category. But numbers on a spreadsheet and what actually rolls off a trailer every morning are not always the same story. There is a reason this video does not end here, and it starts with the other brand sitting right behind Kubota in that same survey. Right behind Kubota sits the name almost everyone already expected, John Deere. And credit where it is due, because the data backs it up. John Deere is the only other brand in Consumer Reports' latest rankings to earn an above-average predicted reliability score paired with what CR calls a stellar owner satisfaction rating. That is not a small claim. Most brands manage one or the other. Deere manages both at a level high enough that CR's own language sets it apart from the rest of the field. Look at the flagship model behind that rating, the Z530M, a 24-horsepower V-twin gas zero-turn. It runs around $6,100, and it comes backed by a 4-year warranty. That price tag is not an accident, and neither is the warranty length. Deere is not competing on being the cheapest machine on the lot. It is competing on the promise that the machine you buy today is still running the way you expect it to years from now, and enough owners are backing that promise up in survey after survey to keep Deere near the top. Here's the catch, though. Reliability data tells you how a machine performs once you already own it. It does not tell you what you are paying to get there. Deere sits in a premium price tier, and that changes the math for a lot of buyers. A landscaper running 5 machines across a crew is not just asking which one lasts longest. They are asking which one lasts longest per dollar spent. And that is a different question entirely. So the data has now handed us 2 official answers. Kubota wins the numbers outright. Deere sits close behind with a warranty and a reputation that backs it up. But 2 names on a spreadsheet is not the same as what 100 business owners actually park in their trailers every morning. That story starts somewhere else entirely, with two brands built by people who were never trying to win a satisfaction survey in the first place. Because survey scores are one story, and what a working crew trusts every single day is another. That story starts with Skag. Founded in 1983, Skag never built its name chasing a satisfaction ranking. It built its name on fabricated steel decks designed to take daily abuse from crews who are not babying their equipment. They are working it. Curbs, roots, rocks, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Skag's reputation was earned on job sites, not in a survey response. Then there is Ferris, and Ferris solved a different problem entirely. Every zero turn on the market is fighting the same enemy: hours of vibration and jarring impact that wear a body down long before the machine wears out. Ferris answered that with a patented full suspension system, independent coilover shocks up front, and a suspended operator platform underneath. That is not a comfort feature bolted on for marketing. It is engineering built specifically to keep an operator running longer without breaking down before the mower does. And the numbers back it up. Tested on 10 to 12 degree slopes, the Ferris YS 3200Z stayed noticeably more stable than rigid frame competitors. On flat ground, that difference barely registers. On the kind of rough, sloped property a real landscaping crew deals with every week, it is the difference between a controlled cut and a dangerous one. Neither Skag nor Ferris always tops the Consumer Reports satisfaction charts the way Kubota and Deere do. That is not a knock against them. It is a clue. A homeowner filling out a satisfaction survey after one season is answering a different question than a crew that has run the same machine for 3 years straight, uphill, daily, without a break. Ask the people doing that work which brand they would buy again. And Skag and Ferris are the names that keep coming up, survey rankings or not. Because here is what none of these rankings tell you up front: what ownership actually looks like once the warranty photos are put away and the machine just has to work. One Gravely owner put it plainly: roughly 1,000 hours of use spread across 13 years on the same machine. That is not a marketing number. That is one person's honest answer to how long a zero turn can last when it is maintained right. It is also the benchmark every brand on this list gets measured against, whether they say so or not. But that is the ceiling, not the average. Talk to professional landscapers running machines daily, and most report expecting about 3 seasons of hard commercial use before major wear starts showing up. 3 seasons, not 13 years. That gap between the best case anecdote and the realistic baseline is exactly why reliability means something different to a homeowner mowing half an acre on Saturdays than it does to a crew running 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And when wear does show up, it tends to show up in the same place across almost every brand: the hydraulic pump and transmission. Rebuilds there can run close to $1,000, and that number shows up again and again in owner discussions, regardless of which name is on the hood. That is the real cost of durability. It is not just whether a machine breaks, it is what breaking costs you when it does. One more detail worth knowing before any of these survey numbers make sense: only about 11% of zero-turn owners actually bag their clippings. Almost everyone mulches or side discharges instead. That is why Consumer Reports reliability data is built around that kind of use. The numbers you are seeing were never measuring a bagging machine in the first place. They were measuring the mower most owners actually run. So if the survey data points to Kubota and Deere, why do Skag and Exmark keep showing up on job sites instead? Ask around commercial crews in Dallas, in Pittsburgh, in almost any city with a real landscaping industry, and the same names come up on the trailers parked outside job sites every morning. Exmark and Skag are consistently the brands pros say they see the most, regardless of what a satisfaction survey says. That is not a contradiction of the data. It is a different data set entirely. One measures how owners feel after filling out a form. The other measures what an entire industry keeps buying with its own money, year after year, machine after machine. That gap gets even more interesting once you follow the price tag. Exmark's Laser Z X Series starts around $16,699 in 2026. Ferris's ISX 2200 runs roughly $14,794 to $15,949, depending on configuration. These are not budget machines. Crews paying that much are not buying on impulse or brand loyalty. They are buying because the cost of downtime on a job site is higher than the cost of the machine itself, and they have already decided which name is worth that BET. So, which is it? Is the real answer Kubota, because the numbers say so? Is it Deere, because the warranty and the satisfaction scores back it up? Or is it Exmark and Skag, because that is what shows up on trailers doing the actual work every single day? The uncomfortable truth is that both stories are true at the same time, and they are answering two different questions. One tells you who owners are happiest with. The other tells you who the industry trusts enough to buy again and again with real money. So here is the answer, and it is not one name. It is 5. Kubota, John Deere, Skag, Exmark, and Ferris. Kubota for the buyer who trusts the numbers outright. Deere for the one who wants a warranty, backing up the satisfaction score. Skag for the crew that needs steel built to survive daily abuse. Exmark for the operation that measures everything in market share and uptime. Ferris for the operator working slopes who cannot afford to feel every bump. The shock was never one brand beating the rest. It was that the right answer depends entirely on the job in front of you.